A very good morning. Today I will teach you the next chapter, that is the desert. Though it is the third chapter, but I am teaching you before teaching the second chapter because you must be familiar about the word the desert. And in sixth class also you have read about desert animals, right? So what is in a desert? A desert is generally without water and vegetation. We know that the desert is the most driest place in the earth. So what I will do, I will explain you the summary, what is in this chapter, so that you can understand. If still you have any queries, you can ask to me. So let's start. We know that most people believe that the desert is an endless stretch of land. They think that is, it is dry, hot, waterless and without shelter. We know that the desert is, why it is the driest place, because for a month, for a couple of months and even sometimes once in a year there is a rainfall. So automatically the place is very dry, and the desert comprises of sand, which is not good for, even good for the vegetation. So, but we believe it is a very dry place, but there are some specialists or the nature lover who believes that the desert is a very beautiful place. For them, a desert is the home of a variety of people, animals and plants, right? And why it is very hot? Because it does not always have a cover of grass, right? We know that. And the rain is rare. But when it does, the desert becomes as beautiful as any tropical garden. A desert may have sometimes a desert may sometimes have mountains and hills. It may have an oasis also. What is an oasis in the terms of desert? Oasis is a place where water comes from underground automatically in the middle of the desert. This place is known as oasis, right? And what is the beauty of the desert? That a desert can be hot like the Thar and cold like a Ladakh, right? In general, when a place has little or no water and vegetation, people call it desert. Sand dunes are found in those deserts which are almost totally without water. And these dunes keep on shifting across the desert. We know that all the creatures need water, right? The animals and even the plants of the desert are able to survive on less water because they are adapted to that environment. And who is known as the ship of the desert? Camel, right? If we talk about desert, it cannot happen that we won't talk about camel, right? Automatically we talk or we think, whenever we say the word desert, camel comes in our mind. So we know that a camel can do without water, can live for without water for days together. And this is the reason is that a camel can drink a lot of water at a time. In sixth class, we have read that it can drink 500 gallons of water in just 10 minutes, right? And you know why camels how they can retain the water without drinking so long? Because they do not sweat like we do. We have sweating, so we have the loss of water, then we become thirsty. But what is the beauty of the camels? They do not sweat. Smaller desert animals may get their water from the moisture of the things they eat. So some of them get the water they need from the animals they eat. And those who don't eat meat eat plants and seeds. Thus they get the needed water from the plant and plant juices. In our cities and villages, the climate is humid, right? The moisture in the air acts like a blanket and it protects the earth from the hot rays of the sun. So the earth is not very hot during the night, right? During the same cover doesn't let the heat go out during the night as well. So earth is not very cold during the night and not very hot during the day, right? But the variation in temperature during the 24 hours is not much. Why? Because the moisture in the air acts like a blanket and it keeps the energy same, almost same during the day and during the night. But in the case of desert, there is no blanket of moisture. So there is a very big variation between the day and night temperature. Why? Because there is no moisture blanket. And the temperature rises much during the day. In the same way, it falls much during the night. Okay, now you got why there is a very big difference in the day temperature and in the night temperature, because it doesn't have any moisture blanket. So this was your chapter, the desert. Thank you.